Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 1st of November 2021. Wow, one more month left of this month, and then it's Christmas, and then, well, 2022. Let's hope that 2022 is a, a better year than the past two that we've had to deal with all this COVID bullshit. Right, so today we're just going to run through a bunch of different pairs, maybe have a look at some of the tools that we are using, maybe the acid strength histogram on the website, because I think it's a really cool tool and I've been using it quite a lot these days. Okay, so let's start with the pound American dollar. Let's see what we're doing on a bigger time frame. Maybe go to the weekly just for a quick moment. Okay, so if we look at what we've got here, so we have this area here, okay, and we have this area here. Okay, this one here is a child, this is a parent. Why is this apparent? This is apparent because it's established independently of any other area, more or less. This is a really nice release, and this one was established as a result of this one. So this is not supply, it's a reaction to supply, this being the supply right here. Okay, so now price poked in, it went almost through the child up to the parent, and now it's starting to drift. So we can't really see what it's doing, but what we can see is that it's starting to do this, kind of break down. So what we're going to do now is we want to look for price inefficiencies above or below price, because this is going to give us a short-term indication as to where price is likely to move towards. And you can see that we have this, that's pretty much rebalanced, but that's a nice area here. Okay, price went up, slingshot was pulled back, and then we released. So we could see a revisit here, but you can see here that price came down. Oops, that was terrible. So price came down. Oh my goodness. Where's that straight line tool here? Straight down and then straight up again. Okay, so price was in this area here for a pretty limited amount of time, telling us that there could be a price inefficiency somewhere down here. So towards the base, there's probably some kind of a price inefficiency. So if we go to the 4-hour chart and have a look what that might look like, yeah, you can see it pretty clearly here on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we've got this one just here that we have to deal with. Okay, we also have something in here, and we have this area of demand just here that's been tested a couple of times, once and twice, and so there's a higher likelihood of price moving through this or deeper into it than there is price bouncing at the upper edge of it. But we have this one here, and I really like this one very much, and the reason I like this one is because we had a nice area just here. It was tested once, price fawned below it, and price cut through it. Okay, so this one just here is responsible for moving this one. So this is an interesting area for us just here. So we can look to buy here. We still have, oh sorry, I forgot to say, for this area of demand, we have a buy zone is right here. Okay, and so there's black space between the buy zone and the demand. We had a price inefficiency just here, and so price is likely going to wriggle its way down at least beyond this buy zone, and highly likely into this area of demand, which I like. Okay, but keep in mind that we do have, like we do have a downward sloping kind of thing, what do you call it, channel like this. Okay, but notice also that we do have a price inefficiency above price. What does that mean? Well, that means that price will likely react somewhere in here. We can have a look where, and maybe print candles up to here to rebalance here before it decides to wriggle south, like, or do something like that. Okay, that's what the graph is telling us. Okay, so we're just focusing on what the price action looks like. So let's have a look at that. So, I mean, knowing that we have a negative bias. Why? We have a negative bias because price is moving inefficiently, so we're showing strength moving lower, and we have a price imbalance to rebalance. Okay, so this is telling me that we're probably going to move lower for the shorter term. So if we have a look at what price is doing, let me zoom out a little. Okay, so we have, as the robot working for us, so we have this price inefficiency here. So let's look for some valid areas. So we have, okay, so we have this one here. And the reason I chose this one and not this one is because we had something in here. Okay, this area here, removed it, the slingshot was pulled back, and then we left. So this is the area that was interesting. Okay, price tested it once, twice, and now price went through it. So then you ask yourself the question, what area of supply is responsible for removing this? Well, I'm guessing something in here. You can't see on this time frame, so we'll have to go, we'll draw a rectangle there, and then we'll go to a 15-minute chart and find it, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be something. There it is, right there. Boom. There it is. There's our area of supply. So this is the one that we trade. Let me reset this. Okay, so this is the one that we would look to trade. And so looking at this, when we do have a few things going on, we have this little price. Okay, you can see it pretty clear here. So we go like that. This is where it is. Just here. Okay, so price came down. We came down, we started to gnaw away at what is available here, and there's not a lot going on here. We had this one here, which was tested. This one, remove this one. This one here is where the real strength came from, and price has not been back since. So the price inefficiency begins here. You could argue that it could go to the top of this area, and that would not be a lie, because we do have price inefficiencies here, and this is just a continuation pattern. So we could take a stab at selling here. If this did not work, then you could consider looking a little bit higher at something in here. And if we go again to the 5-minute chart, you can probably see what's going on. You could actually, I like that one there. We have this one, and we have this one here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to let this grab it. Just going to give this 4. I'm going to give this one target 8. I'm just going to flick that one on. This is in slingshot mode. I'm just going to adjust the slingshot just a little bit, and I'm going to move it just to the wick right there. That's good enough for me. I like that area here, okay, more than this one here, because price came down, the slingshot was pulled back, then it left. Price may not get up there, but I think that's a pretty decent area. I like that one quite a lot. Okay, and so reiterating the logic behind that on the 4-hour chart, price inefficiency down here that needs to balance. We have a price inefficiency here showing us that we have strength moving this way. We had the strength previously that was moving higher, but this one did not rebalance. So it'll at some stage in the not so distant future rebalance. Now we're seeing strength in the opposite direction. So we are going to trade towards the rebalancing of this area here. So you could argue it price to come back to here. That'd be a pretty remarkable trade. But we'll see. I like that one right there. So we'll have to wait and see. But for the time being, this is what we'll look at. Okay, good. So let's have a look now at the American dollar, Swiss franc. Before I do that, I'm going to put this back on the daily. Sorry, not the American dollar, but the Euro American dollar. Put that on there. Okay, good. We have also another big push lower there. So looking here, let's go to the weekly chart. Where are we? Ah, very nice. You can see right away. Price inefficiency, price inefficiency. That's good. So something in here, continuation pattern. Okay, so we still have to deal with these rebalance price here and here. And we're starting to see a bit of strength moving price lower on its way back to this and to this. Okay, so we have a negative bias for the time being. Let's go to the daily chart, see if we see a bit of clarity. Yeah, we had this really nice area, and if we mark this off, this is where we had to push higher. Price turned around from here, so there's something down here. I don't even like that a whole lot because price has already traded here. So you want to go to these ones here, and it looks like just here that there's something here. This removed it. Slingshot, test, and that price pretty much went through it. And so we ask yourself the question, what area removed it? Well, it hasn't really been removed yet, has it? And so we're hoping to see price start to move below it. We do have this. This looks pretty interesting because from here price was able to rally through this area here that was tested several times and held, and the origin of the move is here. Okay, this is where the explosion occurred from. Tested. So we want price to move through that and look for the supply at roughly that area at which to sell, while price continues to move back down to those areas of demand that are still currently out of balance. On the 4-hour chart, this is pretty ugly, isn't it? Oh, look at that. That area was stunning. This nice area of supply found by the software. That didn't make it any easier to understand. But we can see that we had something here. We had some respect. This area sat on it, removed it. The slingshot was defined for this area of supply. Price went up there, and boom, then it went south. Okay, but we can't really see. This is still not. Yeah, we could see on the daily time frame. We need price to move lower before we can do anything. So for the time being, there's nothing to do. Okay, we have to wait for price to. Oh, that looks terrible. To move through these areas here. Okay, we do have this area of an hourly slingshot just here, just below this area of demand, slingshot, revisited that slingshot almost to the pip. Now we're going up, but looking above, you can see that we do have an area, a price inefficient that we have to deal with. Oops, wrong tool. We have this one here. Oh, my goodness. Right here. And so price will potentially, what did the ADR do today? Let's see if we manage to move beyond it. We've kind of run pretty close to the range of the day. We're also at the low of the histogram, so we could rebalance this prior to figuring out what we're going to do. I got this here in Bali. The insects are like out of proportion to like insects in Europe. And last night I was sitting at the table having dinner with my family, and a Balinese hornet about as big as my thumb bit me on the thigh, the inside of the thigh. It flew up my short trouser leg. But the Balinese hornet is not like a bee sting. It grabbed me on the thigh and it pulled a chunk of the flesh of my thigh, and so blood started gushing out. At the same time, it injected like a bit of poison, so my whole thigh swelled up. These blasted hornets, and they live everywhere. They're inside the furniture, inside your cupboards where you have your clothes, and they never do anything, but when they get close to the end of their lives, they get a little bit crazy, you know. You kind of see bees at the end of their lifetimes, and they get a little bit kind of volatile in their behavior, and that's what happened. And this guy went crazy and got me. So I'm struggling a little bit here. So we return to the buy zone, and our price is likely going to wriggle north from here. So what we could do is we could play that, look for an area of demand in here. There's not a whole lot there, is there? If you look at that, there's no reason to buy, because this would, if we did the thing where we looked at the buy side and the sell side of the market, maybe on this time frame. I mean, we had the buy side, price has already returned to the origin, and so just be looking to sell. So there's no reason to buy now because we've already returned to the origin. What we can see, which played out quite nicely, boom, boom, and straight up, price left, started to go north. Okay, now price came down, and then it left, and so we're kind of still seeing what's gonna happen around here. But pretty clear that we had a very nice area here that was tested once. Removed, the slingshot was pulled back for this area of demand, and then boom, price went north. So this played out very, very beautifully, this little price structure here. But currently I don't know what's going to happen. I like this price inefficiency, so I'm thinking price will probably come down here, wriggle sideways, go up a little bit, and then continue moving south, or rebalance, because this is a very This is very thin liquidity up here, so price could easily move higher to the origin or closer to the origin before it continues its journey south. But for the time being, there's nothing to do. We want to wait for this area to be removed so we have some indication of directional bias. But also note that we're also seeing this. Okay, here we do have this, and so price could easily go back up here to deal with this. The sell zone is right here for this area of supply, but we'll have to see what happens. So nothing really to do there for the moment. Let's have a look at the American dollar, Swiss franc. So here, on the weekly chart, relatively efficient trading. Oh, okay, so need more clarity on this time frame. On the daily, yeah, so we had this. I'm just going to use this tool. We had this here. Nice continuation pattern right there. Buy zone. So I'm thinking price should come back down to this area here, beyond this buy zone. We've established the buy zone for this area of child demand. Price is kind of testing it. Let's actually see if we got there. Actually, we got there maybe even to the pipper. Okay, and so if we go down another time frame to the 4 hour, pretty close. And this was rebalanced. This one was pretty much rebalanced back to the origin. This one almost. And so prices, we had like a really nice attempt to move through here. We had a couple of tests. 1, 2 relays, 2, 3, 4, push away. Then we had challenged this area here, nice reaction. Now it's gone. The area that did it is somewhere in here. Okay, slingshots pull back, then we went down. We had this one here. Tested. The area that did it is apparently somewhere in here. So I'm thinking maybe we'll wriggle south from here. Keep in mind that we are pretty low according to the histogram, so maybe we could have a deeper retracement, maybe up to this one right here. But we don't know just yet. Okay, so having a look on the 1 hour chart, what do we have? Yeah, pretty efficient trading around here. Price did return to the origin, and so I'm thinking the price could easily wriggle south. What do we have here? Do we get to the origin? Yeah, we did pretty much, didn't we, here? And this one here. Yeah, we moved to the origin here. Good. So I'm thinking that price is probably, I don't know, maybe we'll go having a run up and then maybe a push lower from here. We're also getting pretty high in here. Oops. In here. So maybe we will begin to, because historically what's happened, we had a top there, we had another one there. Now we're getting around that area there. So price pushed away pretty clearly from these highs here. So maybe we're looking to do the same thing from this area of supply here. Maybe wait for some dots to show us the divergence that we're looking for, and then boom, push lower. Okay, so that could be something that's interesting to look for. Back on the daily, American dollar, Japanese yen. Let me remove these objects before I do anything else. Wow, look at these. Boom, boom, boom. That's a lot of inefficiency. It's the daily chart. So let's look on the weekly, see where we're headed. And we do have that inefficiency. I can see the microphone kind of like spiking sometimes. I'm not sure what that sound is, but I'll have to hope it's not an annoying sound. So we do have this one here, and we do have this one here, and we're getting close to a historically respected area, pools of liquidity. So interest, what does that mean? That means pancakes. Okay, and so maybe we're gonna move down and address these that we can see here. It's like around here and around to the beginning of the buy zone, just above this area of demand right here. That's on this time frame. So we're okay. On the weekly, we can see we had this This test, we're right in it now. We're looking pretty strong, but we're standing on a kind of bit of a skinny leg. So we have thin liquidity below price. Okay, this is thin liquidity here, or price inefficiency. So we have the thick end of the book for this move right here. Go like that. So we have bigger bids down here, and they get smaller as price goes up. As the interest to buy decreases, the higher price gets. So if price manages to come back down here, then we'll probably pick up some longs and see price reference these other price points up here, like here for example. Okay, so on the daily chart, so what's the conclusion on this time frame? For the time being, pretty high, but we need a bit of clarity. Okay, so we're pretty high. We're beginning to see these turning points. So we had this one here, just looking at the histogram. This one didn't get very high, did it? And now we're starting to get up there as well. And last time price came up to these, we have another one over here, don't we? This is kind of a whole area here. Last time price got up there, we went down, down, and here we don't know yet. Maybe moving down, but we'd like to go a little bit higher, but we can maybe see on the daily chart what it is that's going on. So let's have a look at the histogram, what it's trying to show us. And while we're waiting for the histogram to load, we'll mark off the high, and we'll go and have a look and see what price is reacting at. Okay, tear. Ooh, so we're right at this area here. But looking at this, has price been back to this area before? It certainly has. Here and here and here. What does that tell us? That means that the pancakes on the plate are maybe no longer present. And so I'm thinking that price could maybe need to push a little bit higher through this area before we are able to look to sell. And looking in here, I'll just do it on this time frame quickly, then we'll go on the small time frame. So right here we had this test, price goes away, we move down, we sit on it, we go down, we come back, we mess around. So where does the slingshot leave from? It hasn't really left because it's kind of pulling back into the area until here. Okay, and so there's something there. Let's have a look from the highs. Okay, so let's put something right here, right at these highs. And we'll jump on the 4 hour. See if we can find that. Okay, here it is. So you can see it right here. And here we have a pretty clear picture where we had this. Okay, we had parent, child is here. Tested a couple of times. Once, twice, and now it's gone. Okay, slingshot, a lot of slingshotting going on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4, this is back into it, and then we left. Price is currently sitting right here. This is actually a pretty nice looking area. Just here, look at that sheer strength. So I'm thinking price will probably wriggle away, but you want your stops above this because this is essentially where the slingshot is. So you could argue that you'd want to go up to here, but let's have a proper look at this on a smaller time frame. If I have the data, please don't fail me. Let's see if we have the data, fingers crossed. Nope, don't have the data. We'll do it on the 4 hour chart. Ah, blasted MT4. Brokers, let's see, let's go. Let's find it there. It is. Let's analyze this. That's quite nice right there, isn't it? I like this whole area here. That's a nice one. So going back here, we can't really see what's going on here, can we, unfortunately, but but we do have something here. Yeah, we don't have the data, but looking at this, I've seen this so many times, and price just likes to go a little bit deeper than you would have thought. Because I mean, getting in here, I mean, price has already been here, hasn't it? Many times. And so putting the entry here, you think, oh, what a great idea. But price could easily just poke up. You know, I don't know what it's doing here now. Just poke up to it, have another push, and then a breakdown, and then a test, and then a departure. So I wouldn't take this. I would look to trade higher. So for this one, I would be keen on doing this, removing this. It does look like this is a beautiful pattern here, but maybe a tiny trade you could take there. But I'd be more keen on trading here, because this is the slingshot. Let me remove these. Gone. The slingshot is essentially pull back to here. Let's just double check that. You see, price has not been back there since. Has it? It has not. So that is where we can expect price to go. So I would take that one there. Something in here. I wish we could see what that looked like, but we can't. So all we have to do is we can look at we can do some X-ray stuff. Actually, speaking about X-ray, let me whack that on there quickly. Okay, so plopping X-ray on, you can see that this is really nice. Here we have the monthly candle departure. We have Monday did nothing, Tuesday sold off, Wednesday, Thursday we distributed, Friday we sold off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wait, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not a whole lot. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not a whole lot. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry. This is the first week, isn't it? First week, second week, first, second, third, fourth week, nothing. Next month, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a whole lot. And you see prices slowly wriggling north. But you can see that we had a round top here. A month moving north. So we had the first week, second week, third week, and fourth week did nothing. Then the first week, and then the second week, price tanked. And so this is what we can see just here. If I go like this, I go on that, and I hit enter, and we do the same over here, it brings us here. Okay, you can see that they're lined up at the same place. And so this, a little bit further up, just a really nice departure here. So something like that would be the better alternative. So that's what we could look at there. Right, spent a lot of time on that one. So let's have a look at one more, the American dollar, Canadian dollar. Let me remove everything. Okay, so put this on the daily chart. Where are we? Yeah, so we have a bit of we have this, boring, this one here. And above we've got some turning. Okay, here it is. We got this. Okay, tested almost, this one, and that price is kind of breaking down. Okay, so we had something in here. Gone, whatever did it, something in here, so we could actually have a look at that on a smaller time frame. So let's wrap that in a box. We got this one here, and this one looks, excuse me, here as well, there. Let's go down and look at those on the 4 hour. Okay, so looking at these, and these ones here, we want to look for those areas where, oh, look at that one, that's so pretty. That's such, you can definitely expect a reaction down there. That's very nice. So if you're shorting, you might want to get out of the trade when it gets down there, because it's going to have some trouble moving beyond that, I think. But above, pretty messy, isn't it? It's not like there isn't like a supply and demand pin-up material anywhere here. This one here, prices just trade a little bit too long in that area. I wouldn't bother with that. I would certainly go look a little bit higher. And for this one here, you can see that we did have, for a period of time, we did have some lows here. These ones here, and they were all kind of fighting at something here. We had this one here, it was tested, price went up, we pulled back, and then we went. So there's probably an hourly demand in there. We can't really see it. We'll just box off the area. And then price tested that area a little bit, quite a bit. Once, child, then we went a little bit deeper, and then finally price sat on it from around here. So this could be an interesting area. So let's look at that on a 1 hour chart. See if we can pinpoint that release point. Yeah, I mean, looking at this, I mean, a lot of trading, so I would definitely look higher. I mean, there's nothing in there that's just making me fall in love with this. It's pretty efficient trading. There's no major disturbances there. We had this has already been dealt with. You know, this one, price return. We had this one here, which has been tested a couple of times. Yeah, we could have a small reaction there, but this is nothing very pretty on this time frame, so I would wait. So I would, as a matter of fact, I would go back to the daily chart, and I would say, I mean, this is a nice area for a buy, and for a short, I would be looking higher. That's a nice 4 hour buy there. It's also a very nice departure. Okay, and then for selling, I would look higher. I'd look somewhere in here. Okay, because when price left here, we managed to move beyond this low and this low and this low, and we held. Okay, so there's something in here that's got merit. I'd feel more comfortable selling up there somewhere, up here somewhere. We could do a smaller time frame analysis of this. Okay, a lot of messing around there, but we do have this here, this one here. Okay, price left, slingshot was pulled back, and then we went down. Okay, so up here, which is really far away, but I just wouldn't mess around. Of course, on the 5 minute, you can find trades all day long, but for the longer term trends, you want to navigate to the bigger time frames. Okay, currently we're kind of gnawing on this. We might have a bit of a bounce here, because this is the origin of the move that enabled price to trade below this low, which was significant because price came down to it and it left very quickly. So there's a lot of liquidity to sell here. I'd feel more comfortable maybe going up here, looking at that, because here we also have buy zone, testing all around there, and it kind of lines up pretty beautifully with this area just here. So something up here for look at that, we did come to that area and we moved away, so that worked out quite nice. I overlooked the fact that we've already been there, and then we slowly moved through that. So let's do the legwork. So where did price have to return to in order to move beyond that? Well, it had to, came up, it failed, came up, failed, came up, it failed. Where did it go to? It went to something in here. Okay, so this is where we would expect price to bounce in the future. Okay, buy zone, we can't see what it is. Let's have a look on the hourly chart. Maybe there's a little bit more clarity. Yeah, you can kind of see there's something right there. Take the whole candle. Okay, price came to it, had a couple of tests, another test just here, you can see it's just below, and now this one is probably maybe gone. Yes, and so now we cut through it, and the area that cut through it, removed it, is this. Okay, so now this makes sense to look at, but looking at this, blah blah, mess, looking at this on the other hand, that's pretty, that's much prettier. So that would be a more interesting trade than this one here. This is kind of like the departure, the distribution, and then the gradual decline in price. That's not very attractive. Well, look at that, down, boom, look at that beautiful trade. Okay, Okay, I'm going to stop there. 34 minutes and 46 seconds. Hope this is useful. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.